Hey, we are live for a Monday. Let me refresh. Make sure there's no echo. You can see me and hear me, and looks like we're ready to go. I want to see who's here in the chat. Very important topic today, talking about eBay authenticity guarantee. Some of the terms have changed. I'm not going to say good, bad. I just think there's little things as resellers that we should know to take full advantage of some of these terms because some things did change, but we're going to talk about that. Let's see in the chat who is here. Hustle Crow, Bronx, William Perry, the man, Mr. Information in Hand, Sentinel, Brian. Brian, what's up? How was sourcing today, Brian? SA Money Mondays. I hit a milestone, made more money reselling in one day than I made at my full-time job. I like that. I remember those days. It was sweet. And then after that, I was like, man, what am I doing here? I'm losing money at my regular job. Miss Cam, Manny Fresh, Christy, Hustle Crow, already said Hustle Crow, Sal, Michael, Flipping the Hustle, I Shop for Shoes, Pags, Cool Kicks, go subscribe to them, Omar, Lamination Gaming, Ecom Lifestyle, Omar, different Omar, Sentinel, what's up, Jimmy, Kyle, appreciate your vids, I appreciate you watching the live show, and more people coming in. Well, actually, this thing always freezes for some reason, this pop-out chat. So let me close that, get this thing going again. You know what? This is gonna throw me off. Okay. Hustlebee in the chat. Hawaii Rams fan, been doing good on eBay. Activate hustle mode. Claude, Flips Anonymous, Oscar, enjoying life on vacation. Emmanuel, what's happening? What's up? Trackstar. Let me see. Brian, sourcing was a lot of Adidas cleats and other Adidas stuff. Nick, what's up? Let's see. Rue and Thrift and Sue Huskins and Darren. So yeah. All right. More people coming in. Here we go. Some things have changed. If you haven't noticed, especially the last, I'm going to say week or so, there's been some items that you're like, why is this going to authentication? I thought this was $150 brand new. I thought this was $250 pre-owned. What's going on here? So yes, they did change some terms without letting people know. And it just kind of happened, and it is what it is. So we have to make the changes for our business and be ready for anything at this point. So add to stream, here we go. With the slideshow, what we're going to be talking about today and some of the topics. Let's start off with the key terms. And if you go to the eBay site, it's weird because they have two websites or two web pages for authenticity guarantee. And I don't know if one's like not updated. I don't know why they have two. And one of them has like a Yeezy shoe on kind of like the header. The other one has the Jordan 1. And I don't know, there was a difference because there was some key parts in there that I was like, how come this isn't on this web page? Anyway, I'm covering both, everything in here. Sneaker Hype says, can you bring back Jake? Oh man. Where is Jake? If Jake's here, we can throw him in later on in the show. So we know what authenticity guarantee is. Now here's the thing. New condition sold for $100 or more. New condition, pre-owned condition, $300 or more, eligible for authenticity guarantee. So they went back. They started off with $100 brand new. Then they couldn't handle it. Remember, there's so many shoes selling. They couldn't handle everything that was going on. They changed it to $150 or more, brand new, and $250 pre-owned. Now they are back to $100 brand new. And they raise it up on the pre-owned $300 or more. So that is one of the main changes here. So if you got any sales throughout the weekend that you're like, I thought this was supposed to be $150. What happened here? No, it's $100. And really, I think it's because they did catch up. They were so behind. authenticating all these shoes. They did catch up, and of course, we saw a different location open up, which was Las Vegas. Let me see any. Let me see any questions in the chat. Throw them in at any time so we can talk about them. And one page even mentions 100 on new and used, resell freak. That's a good point. So that's what I'm going to bring up, this pre-owned, which is weird too. It throws people off. Now, eligible for authenticity guarantee, and in new condition sold for $100 or more, or pre-owned condition sold for $100 or more. And then you go down on that same page, it says, are pre-owned sneakers eligible? And it says sneakers over $300 are now eligible. So that's why also people are confused. I believe this is a typo, and they, for some reason, did not change it. So it is, in fact, $300 pre-owned or more, in case you were wondering, because I'm pretty sure people get kind of confused on that. Okay, we covered that. Let's talk about lots. Now, in this same little web page they have in here, listings sold as a lot with multiple pairs of sneakers and items as customized are currently not eligible for authentication. This is key because if you don't want to go through that whole thing, sending it to, especially, let's say this, we're selling a lot of 2 pairs, and somebody in my area, let's say Phoenix, somewhere close by, wants to buy my item. I'd rather just go straight to them. It's going to be cheaper for me to ship because we don't know if it's going to go to New York or Las Vegas. We don't have control over that. I'd rather just ship it straight to them, not have to deal with authentication. And there is a way, of course, to not pay the fees. So I think for lots, the important thing here, here's just an example. That's not my listing. Someone selling here, size 15, Flyknit React sneakers. Almost $200 plus $19 shipping. So they're combining everything, of course, $19 shipping, have that. No authentication because we're selling 3 pairs. Also no fees because we're over $100. A key thing that I would look into is when it comes to golf and soccer. Talking about golf shoes, soccer cleats, things like that. Because if you have a buyer that wants to buy, let's say, some of the lower end stuff, because currently I have some lower end golf that I got in a bulk lot that I didn't pay very much for, and they're selling for like 50 each, 60 each, around that range. And I had some buyer, like, hey, I want to buy 2 of these pairs. Now, instead of selling individually or just combining shipping, I just create a brand new listing, $100. You have 2 of those shoes. You're going to sell them for 50 anyways, for example. Put it at 100, don't pay the fee, and it doesn't go to authentication. So it's like a win-win, and you can combine shipping for both pairs. So find out like little ways here and there to not pay fees, and especially that buyer somewhere closer, cheaper shipping and not going to authentication. So I think that's like a little win-win for you and the buyer if you can figure that out when it comes to buying multiple pairs. Let me see in the chat. Let me see. SA, it's a good loophole. Some of my $100+ sneaker don't go through authentication process and buyers don't care. Why a Rams fan? Let me see. Hustlebee, Clancy to proofread. I had 2 of my items get authenticated within a week of shipping. There we go. Yeah, they're trying to, I think, go for like 2 or 3 business days max. They're trying to get these authenticated, get it going. Trying to compete with GOAT. GOAT's quick. Let me see. Big Money Mo, those damn fines. Nate says, yep. How long did it take you to have big sales? Is this the only source of income you have? I'm a full-time seller, and I do have other sources of income. Obviously, YouTube and merch by Amazon. I get a check that comes in, but it's not my only source of income. But it did take years to build up. Would it be better just to charge shipping on Kicks just so they pay for the shipping to authentication? Trackstar. I think it depends on where the location is, because and I know that if it's somewhere in your area And if you charge, 13 bucks for shipping and they pay it, and sometimes, especially for 2 pounds, even like up to 3 pounds, it only comes out to like $8. I mean, you're still, even if you wanted to charge on shipping, you're making an extra $5 on shipping. It's going to be easier for you to ship it somewhere closer than to go to all the way to authentication. If it ends up going to New York or Las Vegas, depending on where you're located. So there's like little factors here and there that I can't really say it's better than the other one. Let me see. Buyer requested a return. eBay immediately declined the return and advised everything was authenticated. So we're going to talk about that too. Talk about returns. Let me see. Sold $200 pair of cleats, went through authentication process. So yes, I did. I also sold cleats over $100. They went through the full thing. I charged shipping on all shoes, but low dollar amount. Ecom lifestyle. All right, let's go to GSP sales. Items that are listed on eBay.com but located outside of the U.S. for delivery to a buyer located within the U.S. may be available for authenticity guarantee soon. Check back for updates. However, items that ship to a buyer address located in Canada and Australia are eligible. Really depends where it's going when it comes to GSP and outside sales. So for me, what I sold recently was the Dunk Low. And this one, of course, no fees. We're athletic shoes category, no authentication, and it went to eBay's warehouse. Then it goes to the buyer. So in this case, I think the only problem maybe would happen to, I guess, to be for maybe returns or something. Might throw things off. It's always weird when someone wants to return something for GSP. Usually they don't because it's like such a hassle to do it. But in this case here, no authentication, just go straight to them. Let me see. Got to give Cool Kicks that wrench. Let me see. I'm in the Bay Area and I still don't know why they go all the way to New York when Las Vegas is closer. I know. That's the thing though, is like, I wish they could all go to Vegas for me. That'd be a lot cheaper for me when it comes to shipping. It'd get there a lot quicker and the buyer would get the shoe obviously faster, but no way to control that. If you bought sneakers from me, I'm sorry. Shipping from Hawaii, $20+ Hawaii Rams fan. For non-Jordan hype Nikes, I check them as customized. That avoids authentication process like for cleats. So yeah, anything customized like we saw on the other one, customized and or lots would not go to authentication. I shipped them here. I'll authenticate. I still went to Vegas. Nate. I'm personally not the biggest fan of eBay selling so many lowballers and the people that don't pay right away. Now, the not paying right away, yeah, that's a hassle we've been dealing with for years. Lowballers, that's in every platform. We've seen it on Go, StockX, Amazon. It's easier for those that you don't have to actually create a listing. You can just lowball whenever you want. Let me see. Anyone bumped into flight zooms? Jason Kids. Curious is John. How about changing the customized item specifics to yes when customer asks for direct shipping to them? I wonder if there's some negative repercussions. Resell freak. I don't think so. I think that if you did change it to customize, I think you'll be fine. I don't think you'll have anything wrong with that. Let me see. So $300 plus Jordan still worth selling on eBay with authentication program, or still go to GOAT? It is definitely still worth selling on eBay. I think eBay having the Jordans or anything else definitely still worth it. I think it's just important to read through all of these details to see how you can make the most money out of it. They ship to New York because that's where Authentication Warehouse is. Jumperman Chris. So there's that one for New York, and then there's also the Las Vegas one. So we got two of them, and just depending where they want the seller to ship. Next, what about returns? We have this question a lot. What is final sale? So authenticity guarantee program thoroughly checks the item to confirm what you receive is exactly what you ordered. If a seller does not accept returns or the return is submitted outside of the return window, the item is considered final sale and cannot be returned. So you can change this yourself. As a seller, you're selling mochas, you're selling unions, you're selling something extremely high priced. You're worried about the switcheroo, or you don't want to deal with a buyer that wants to return it. You like the StockX GOAT route to where I can sell it. I don't have to worry about it. I know it's an authentic product. It's going to go through them, authenticity program, send it to the buyer. We're done. That can happen if you do not accept returns. So here's an example of that, which is kind of funny though, because I got the screenshot and this buyer, this seller only has 2 feedback, doesn't really have a whole lot going on, charging $23 for shipping, went on bid or best offer, selling mochas, and returns final sale, seller does not accept returns. So this also goes to Authenticator. Remember, it's going to go through eBay. As long as they authenticate it, you're done. That's it. Don't have to worry about it coming back because you're not accepting returns. Let me go back to the chat. Let's see what everybody says here. I love GOAT, no returns, everything sells fast. See, GOAT got me my house. There we go, Clark Kent. I recently had a buyer rate and say shoe looked brand new than used, and it wasn't only size 12, but 12EE. KI Visions. GOAT seems to be getting better. eBay sticks it to the sellers. Nate says Nate. Let me see. Jumperman Chris, yes sir. I saw a lot of SneakerCon videos. RJ Funky Finds, Too Legit, what's up? And no other questions on the returns part. Next, best offers. This is where it got kind of confusing. People had some questions on what's going on with this thing. And look at this question too. What if I list my sneaker for $100 in new condition or $300 in pre-owned condition and accept the best offer below $100 in new condition or below $300 in pre-owned condition? Will it be eligible for authenticity guarantee? Yes. Your item will be eligible for authenticity guarantee, sent to authentication partner for inspection. This is where I think it throws a lot of people off because they're like, this didn't even sell for $100. Why is it going to authenticity? Why is eBay still checking this? And here's what happened. Let's say, so this is my listing. Let's say I decide randomly, you know what, I'm going to sell this shoe for $90, $80, and below $100 because it's brand new. Any price below $100. It says right here, authenticity guarantee. So whether I accept the offer, I sell it for less than $100, as long as it has this on here, the buyer is already expecting it to go to authentication. So it doesn't matter what I sell it for at this point, less than $100, more than $100, it's still going to go no matter what, because my original selling price was over $100. So that already gives them, that idea that, hey, it's going to go get authenticated no matter what. And that's where it kind of throws it off. So whatever you decide to sell it at, it's going. Can people return with eBay authentication? Depends on the seller, Kukik. So if the seller they're open to returns, then you can. If it's final sale, then you cannot. Hustle Westbrook says, I have free returns, so now is it better to remove returns for authenticated sneakers? I would probably say on maybe the more higher end hype shoes, I would probably remove it. You don't have to have that open at all times. I think if it's some of the lower stuff, we get stuff at Ross, we're selling things for 120, 130. I know it's not going to be like a huge deal, but it still has that confidence for the buyer that you are selling them authentic product. But for something $400, $300, $400, $500, not have to deal with it, I would probably turn that off. Let me see. I don't accept returns. I sold Jordan 1 low. The buyer wanted to return the item. She made, therefore buying eBay denied. She went to the credit card company, and now I've been waiting a month for my money. Hustling 21/7. She made a mistake of not checking the size. How is that my fault? So it looks like she's trying to do like a chargeback on eBay, and that could also be a hassle. Taking it further and further. So that's going to be something to do with the credit card company and eBay, and they're going to have to deal with you if things, aren't settled correctly. I don't know why they would, why the buyer. That's the thing though too, is I find it so weird. Like, why can't buyers just read descriptions or titles? Like, it's not that difficult. I had a dude today that bought a Luka jersey, and I was like, hey, they lost buying a Luka jersey. I like that, but it's only kids one I have left, and it hasn't sold. It's a kids medium, and they paid right away, everything, and then immediately after, maybe like a good 30 minutes after, I got a message. The guy was like, please cancel this. I did not know this was a youth jersey. Unless you have a men's, ship me a men's. But if it is a kid's, I do not want it. How convenient. If I had a men's jersey and charge you a kid's price, wouldn't that be awesome? Anyway, AK Rowdy, read the description. Yeah, right. Let me see. YouTube viewers don't read descriptions either. Cool kick. Some buyers are clueless. You just have to guide them through the process. Let me see. Accept returns. eBay denied return. Buyer went to the bank through PayPal and stated item not as described. PayPal took the money, including taxes, that I never received. Also, buyer kept my shoes. So they went through a chargeback through PayPal, which is why eBay got away from PayPal, because of those. So many people are trying to do that. Get a chargeback, get their money back through PayPal, not dealing with eBay, but yet it was an eBay transaction. Now everything's going through eBay. It should be easier. So that was like a totally different thing. Let me see. I hate eBay babies. Those dummies, they don't read. Now I know they're trying to get over Clark Kent. People don't read at all. SA. Let's keep going. Authenticity locations. Now, we talked a little bit about this at the beginning. This is where they're located. We have a New York. We have a Las Vegas. And the Las Vegas one recently added on, 2 months ago, maybe? I know me and B talked about it when they first kind of talked. I guess like maybe they're going to have this location open up, and then finally they did. This has been a lot easier for us over here in the West. At least we can ship to Vegas a lot cheaper, a lot faster, authenticity quicker compared to New York. But like I said before, I still have shoes that go to New York. I have no control over that. And I don't know, maybe it's because it's closer to the buyer. They want it to do that way. Or maybe certain authenticity centers know more knowledge on something else. Like, why is it going to certain ones that we have no control over? I don't know. But there's 2 locations now. That's why they were able to speed up the process and take more shoes in. Let me see. Yes, I think that is why. I saw the pair, and I don't accept return. Sold it for $200. eBay deny. Timeshare went through a credit card company. Now I'm out $200. Been waiting, hustling 21/7. Definitely have to call eBay for that. I have no returns on all my listings, says Radio. Let me see. Let me go up and see. I put free returns. Buyer returned then because they were too narrow. So that happens all the time for shoes. They never read. I sold a used DMP6 for only $130. Kid used them and they wanted to return with dirty soles. I had to refund them. See, they might split up the work. Exactly. I have no returns in all my listings. There we go. Browntown Finds. Buyer is closer to Authentication Center, says Trapball Bundy. And let me see. Okay, so next. Now, if you read the service updates, this was kind of random, but I guess they kind of have to include it in their terms. eBay has the right, but not the obligation to alter, amend, replace, suspend temporarily, and or discontinue permanently the authenticity guarantee service. And Here's where we said or the service providers use to provide any or all of the services under authenticity guarantee at any time in its sole discretion with or without notice to you. So one day to the next, it might be gone. One day to the next, they might say, no authenticity program anymore. Now we're going to charge you fees. Maybe it's still going on. That's why we saw the change from 100 to 150 back to 100. They could change this at any time. That's why it's important for us to keep updated on this, because they're not going to tell us anything. They're not going to put out emails or tell you all these things. Hey, we changed this. Hey, we did that. No, it's just, here we go, changed. And that's why we have to do these live shows, so we're all on the same page, especially as sellers, on what's really going on, and try to find these little details that we may not know about. Overall, I'm liking the changes, says Hustlebee. In the chat, do you like the changes so far? Do you like what eBay is doing? I think that there's good details in here. But I think that if you, let's say the lot thing or accepting an offer less than $100, I think there's different things that you're not really too sure about that could end up biting you, and you're losing maybe the shipping money, maybe $12 here, $10 here or more, or you're paying fees when you could have gotten out of that. That's why I think this video and this live and going through this is important. Anyone can scam eBay. I like the changes, says Double Jump. Let me go back up and see the chat. Any other questions? Throw their questions in the chat. Try to answer them. Let me see. Let's hit that like button for this. Appreciate that, Nick. Hit that like button. I think there's so many issues on eBay because there's more average people, customers, rather than people that know a lot about Nike and Jordan. I signed up for managed payments, waiting for approval. I've never had these problem returns until they started authenticity. Curious, Big Money Mo. What happened? Lakers. And how about them Lakers? And we knew we had to go there, didn't we? Here's the thing. I thought we'd go through this live without talking about the Lakers. We had to talk about them. Now they're here in the chat. I know they lost. I'm a Dolphins fan. I know a thing or two about losing. This is nothing new to me. Here's a review. Everything we talked about. Quick update in case you're just joining in. $100 new, $300 used. That's where we're at. That's their newest update where they're changing it. You can save money with lots. This is for, like I said, I think recommended for golf, recommended for soccer, because you can now change it to athletic shoes category, put $100 or more, figure out if you want to charge shipping or not, and doesn't go to authenticity. You're not paying fees, you're combining shipping, and you can definitely make more money that way. GSP does not go to authenticity, goes to the eBay warehouse, then goes to the customer. Returns, final sale. Remember, you don't have to accept returns. You can put on their final sale. And especially for the higher end shoes, I recommend doing that. Hyper Royals and Shadows and UNCs and things like that you're selling. You don't want to deal with the returns. Do final sale. Remember the best offer thing. $100, as long as the original price is $100 or more, it's going to say authenticity guarantee. You take a best offer less than $100, it's still going to go to authenticity. The locations, remember, there's two different ones, Vegas and New York. And of course, the service updates, they could change it at any time. While we're not paying fees, let's take full advantage of this whole situation and keep doing what we're doing. Keep selling, keep adding inventory, keep that listed value up, and let's make that money and take full advantage. All right. Let me go back to the chat. Any questions you want to join in? Anything you want to throw in? I don't want this to be like a super, super long live show. I just wanted to get the gist of everything that's been changing, things that's going on. You can make the changes to your own business and go from there. Let's answer the questions and we'll be set. How about that Mayweather fight? Let's see. They said sneakers defective even though they passed authenticity. Says Big Money Mo. So that has happened too. Like I said, not everything is perfect with the program. I've gotten cleats back that were destroyed, and I got half of my money back. I had to call eBay, make a big deal about it. So they're definitely not perfect. So there's going to be good and bad. For the most part, it's been good, but there's been some small things here and there. Ecom Lifestyle. If you think eBay has bad buyers, then don't try selling on Amazon. Amazon is a different beast. You don't like something, return it. It doesn't even matter. You used it, you destroyed it. Your dog took a big fat dump in one of the pairs, return it. Doesn't matter. eBay will accept it. Amazon will accept it. You'll get your money, and that's all that matters. They're like heavily buyer can do whatever they want. Let's keep going. Hustlebee, 27 million sold in eBay in Nike along on eBay last 30 days. Nike, huge right now. Hustlebee, shoe market is booming. Let me go up. Is the shoe market starting to crash like card collecting market? Browntown finds. Like Hustlebee said, shoe market is booming. Here's my take on it. Everybody, there's different buyers out there always buying. We talked about golf. We talked about soccer cleats, running, Pegasus, hiking, Gore-Tex, hiking. There's so many different models that sneaker market is just all over the place. I think Nike market, obviously huge, but there's money to be made in all sorts of models. Now, when it comes to Jordan 1s and other hype models, I think they're milking it. I would like to see better colorways, better models for a lot of the new pairs. It's like I think UNC Hyper Royal kind of killed the Shadows because they were just so back to back to back, and we didn't really let people kind of get their money back and build that up to the shoes that they wanted. And they're pumping them out like crazy. Like, look at that Ronald McDonald Jordan 1 that's coming out. We don't need these out there in the market. I just think that it is getting over flooded with a lot of these. Nike might kill itself in that case by pumping out, these random colors for Jordan 1s, but I would like to just see, honestly, dunks. How many different colors are coming out? I would like to see just slow it down a little bit. Let's get them spaced out. And I think you'll definitely have that hunger for people wanting certain shoes. But when there's new models coming out every week, it gets tough. Let me go up and see the chat. And man, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't get to read yet. Amazon buyers are the worst. Amazon is a no-no. Let me see. Will fees still be applied after taking a best offer under $100? Yes. So the fees still matter. You have to sell it over $100. Authentication, still going to go if you have it priced over, but less than 100, you're paying the fees. We're going to talk about the Kobe 6. So we're going to talk more about the sneaker news on Wednesday with the B. Let me see. Jordan 1's bubble coming. SA. Yes, says Nate. McDonald's 1's quality looking on point, says Owen. I got the Ronald McDonald early access. There we go. You hit it on the nail, Glenn. Browntown finds. Playoff 12s, I did see that. See, that's what I like too, though, is playoff 12s, like something that, like, we're getting a bunch of 4s. We're getting a bunch of Jordan 1s. Like, I think people want to see just other pairs that we haven't seen instead of just pumping them out over and over again. And that's what could kill it. And I think it's going to be not necessarily for us sellers, because if you're diverse in what you have, I know some of us have jerseys, we have clothing, we have different types of shoes that we're selling. If you're a sneaker store and you're all about hype, and like we said it too, and me and B were talking like sneaker con, watching those videos, this is what they rely on. It's like, hey, what are you selling that for? Oh, hold on. And they have to check StockX. What is it selling for? A lot of these sellers don't even know their own products. How much did you pay for it? Where did you get it from? What do your profit margins look like? These are the dudes that I know are not going to last. And I'll tell you, because I've already been doing this for a long time, not necessarily focusing on hype, but just selling different shoes in general. And you're relying on some of the platforms to tell you what you should be selling it at. You know, what does the buyer, how much money does the buyer have? Are you working out a deal? Does it really matter on the deal? What are your profit margins? Like, what's going on here? And they're just like, man, I find it weird that I think when you're really into it, you know your products more than anything. And people are just jumping in. Like, I can make money selling shoes. I can make money on stocks. I can make money with cards. And we're just jumping in whatever, not really knowing what's going on. You have a lot to learn. And you can always, there's always something to learn. If you can't blind source, you aren't really a reseller. Vintage Profit. Been straight up killing it. Been flipping LeBrons from Goodwill for $100. Pay $10. There we go, Gary. They've made like 100 plus dunks already. For real. There's a lot of dunks coming out. Business strategy is more important than the shoes. SA. Let me go back up. Are you surprised how low the fragment dunks are selling for? Yes and no. Me and the B talked about this when they came out too. I think the B did want a pair. I want a pair of the 97 Puerto Rico, and I think they were priced at like 275 ish or whatever. You can hold off. You can sell it immediately. Usually, when people start getting the pairs, the price drops and all of that. But for the fragments, not really, because I don't think that a lot of the fragment stuff was really that creative. I mean, me and the B were kind of bashing it when we saw it. I was like, kind of plain. I mean, I didn't really see the big hype about it. And I think that's what people are also seeing, different things like that and factors that come to the shoes and some of the models. It's like, is something I really want? What else is coming out in the next week or so? I learned something different all the time with the eBay hustle. Hawaii Rams fan. Definitely agree. Things opening up, so the younger kids moving on to hanging out with their friends and stuff. Easier to cop stuff now. There you go. Cool kicks. Nate to the analytics. The fragments are going to get below 200. Rashard, what's up? Fragment hype isn't like it was anymore. Fragment is trash, but it's great for the people who like plain colors. There we go. I think dunk highs are not as popular. That's also a factor, comes into play. I picked up a pair of the Vogues today, but B grade are the ones you guys found also B grade, says Trey. Yes, the ones I did find at Ross were also B grade. Let me see. I want a pair of the Fragment Dunks. Must be a lot of pairs, says Activate Hustle Mode. And let me see, because it's not Fragment ones, says Hustle B. So a difference on there. All right, I'm learning to embrace the process, too legit. And right now, off topic, different topic, store's been dry, right? We've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks. The interesting part is we've seen drier, I believe, I'm going to say 3 years ago, we've seen drier from Ross, Burlington, and Marshalls. I don't remember if it was like a summer or fall. What was it? It was a weird time where, man, stores were like bone dry. And what I tell people all the time is the sellers that have really built up their store, been learning, trying new things, adding different types of inventory, shoes, and things to their arsenal. are the ones that are surviving and they keep going, they keep doing it. I've seen sellers come and go throughout the years that I've had the channel. Even sellers too that, super cool people there that I met either going through Out Hustled or we did, events, things like that, meeting people. They're gone and they got a full-time job, they're doing something else. That's totally up to them. I don't have anything against that, but we just see it happen a lot to where we see the flexing on IG, we see, things like that. Next thing you know, they're gone. They're not doing anything for a couple of months, couple of weeks, because they're relying solely on the stores or things like that. And I just think you have to constantly be learning things, figure things out. We can't just stay solely on, like Ross or Marshalls, and things are dry. We know it's going to get better eventually, but can your store handle that or not? Is your store equipped for that? Are you making enough money if you are full-time to keep going, paying the bills, and buying things you need for you, your family, house payments, things like that? Or are we just relying on certain things? So it's important to keep evolving and changing and adding that in. See a bunch of part-timers, Clark Kent. People just kind of lazy. They want maximum find with minimum effort. They're buying Dogecoin right now, vintage profit. Let me see. I got my other way of sourcing if Ross, Burlington, or Marshalls is dry. There we go. SA, thinking outside the box. Start selling spam on eBay. Tax time weeds out a lot of the sellers. I shop for shoes. Thanks to you for my side hustle. There we go, Joe. And they're dry because of massive overflow of resellers, though. And that's also a good point. I think that there was good conversations talking about like the housing market and what's going on there. Like there's so many realtors. There's more realtors now than there's houses to be sold. Like what happens here? I had a friend that he recently, went into selling houses and he did everything he could. He's doing that. He sold one house in the 7 or 8 months that he's been doing it. He said he's known other sellers that have sold 0 houses and they've been doing it over a year, been doing it 14, 16 months. And it's a lot of like hype jumping. It's the same thing that the same type of people have also contacted me like, are you doing Dogecoin? Are you doing stocks? Would you put your money on this? I'm staying focused on what I know. And right now, still on sneakers, yes, it is hot. Could that bubble burst? Of course. And I've already gone through it with merch by Amazon. There's still people making money doing it, but the fees, how much money Amazon is taking, nowhere near what it was when it first started. And that's what I told myself, like, this is going to change over time. It's not going to be as hot as it normally was. I was making $12, $10 for just designing a shirt, making $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a month. I think it was like the highest that I got. It's hot. Let me keep going. Let me keep pumping this out, making the money. It's not going to last forever. So when a lot of the sellers that were also doing the same thing that I was, they're like, man, royalties are down to $3 a shirt. Now they're down to $2 a shirt. What are you going to do? What's going on? Like, I'm cool. I know it's not going to last forever. And I already have plans of what else that I'm doing so that it doesn't affect me to where I'm drowning. You don't want to be in that situation. They say 10% of the agents sell 90% of the homes. There we go. Activate hustle mode. I do stocks. I hold too much risk for day trading, says Connor. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not here to diss you on if you're doing other things. I think it's important to learn other things and keep evolving. You just have to do you and figure that out and not necessarily jump into things just because other people are telling you to jump into things. I think you should want to learn something and want to do it yourself, not just because, people are telling you or it's hype or things like that. Here in America, the shoe game is forever. Clark Kent. When do you see yourself retiring age-wise? That's a good question. Retiring. I mean, I think the idea of retirement is nearly impossible. I think the word retirement is one of those old school terms that, let me tell you why. Because you have this idea that, oh man, once I retire, I'm good to go. I'm set. Next thing you know, the bills aren't going away if you stop working. There's still bills to be paid. Social Security, I don't know how much you're going to be getting. Totally depends. Also, what is the age? Also, how are you health wise? Let's say if you do retire, are you in pretty bad shape? What kind of condition? I mean, are you gonna have to be getting maybe a surgery, seeing the doctor, bad back, bad neck, bad knees, bad shoulders? So many things come into play that's like, I don't see myself retiring, but I would like to get into, like SA said, a cruise control to where I'm good. There's money coming in. I'm not putting in that maximum effort, and I have more time to focus on, let's say, if and when I do have a kid, on family. But as of right now, we're all in, baby. Retire with crypto, Trackstar. Let me see. I'm retired when I'm expired. Hustlebee. I agree. Retirement for our generation is going to be different than our grandparents. I think with the internet now, there are plenty of ways to make money. I can still pay the bills, but chill. So there we go. Tyler's Green. I do agree. I think there's different ways on there. Hustler Hack will have his kid take over. Glenn only worries about bad hair. And nothing wrong with diversifying your hustle, just like your investments. Intramorph. I agree. Have you thought about hiring someone or people that can do the work for you? Kicks. No, just because I love it. Actually, when I do have items that come in, let's say like a bulk buy situation, I like just chilling, listen to music, taking photos, listing. Like it doesn't feel like a chore to me. It's kind of like a relaxing type of thing towards like getting things organized, your brain's moving, you're doing things. I like it. On the opposite end, Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, thrill of the hunt. That's always going to excite you. What's out there? What can you find? Even adding on Plato's Closet, thrifting, Nike Outlet, like what's out there? Thrill of the hunt stuff. That's never going to go away. Combination of both. I love it. Maybe for something tedious, like a shipper or something that the things that maybe you don't really care to do, that if it would be that much of a hassle, that's of course if you're shipping, I mean, a bunch of products a day, like 50, 60, 70, but even at 50, me and my wife could knock that out and ship 50 items. I mean, that's not a huge deal. I mean, I think unless it got overbearing, but in that case, no. But I think it's a good question though, Kukix. Let's see. Hustler Hacks videos are top tier quality. Doesn't need an editor. Connor. Let me see. Getting you plugs and meeting new people makes the best for me. SA. I like that. Also, no dealing with a boss on your back. Definitely. The freedom was the number one. That's why we're doing this more than anything. The money is great if you can figure out that process, how much money you want to make, how much money do you need to make, but the freedom. I mean, that's where you want to be. That's where it's at. When you've experienced working for someone you don't like, doing something you don't like, you experience a little bit of freedom, you're like, man, what a time to be alive. I used to like look outside the window, like at the office, and I'm like, what are people doing out there? What is it like experiencing sunlight and not being stuck, in this little cubicle? And now here we are. Let me go back up. We got more questions. My mom is getting retirement and working full time. Most money she's made. Oh, there you go, Benny. My parents are still thinking about retirement, and it's like they want to, they don't want to. They like the business. The crazy thing is too is with retirement is a lot of people get bored because, and also some people feel useless. Like I'm not doing anything anymore. Is there a need or want for what I have to offer? And I think that's important to build that business, side business, whatever you like to do, and keeps it going, keeps you running, keeps you active. Sourcing till my knees give out. There you go, Kevin. SA out of Matrix. Sourcing right now says Nate. Self-employed for life. Hashtag freedom. Ecom lifestyle. My wife likes it when money's transferred into the account. Hawaii Rams fan. I bet. No such thing as retirement. It's a myth. I do agree. 2020 was basically retirement, double jump. 2020 was also a break where we talked about what 2 weeks? No, it's already been longer than that. Like a month ago, our live show, how having that break, people were thinking about and rewiring themselves. Man, I really do hate my job. Maybe I should go work somewhere else. Or in this case, unemployment, maybe I just won't work at all. They've really started to think about what they want to do with their lives, and it gave them a pause to really sit down and think about it. 2020 was a break for a lot of the people to do that. 2020 showed me get my life together, SA. So there we go. Like I said, 2020 turned me into a reseller, says Kevin. I think most people die soon after retiring. People sit around and waste anyway. Need to keep the mind busy. Cool kicks. And I know they did that research on like how much work is actually done at the office. And when I worked at the office, you got to check Facebook. You got to check Instagram. You got to check YouTube. By the time you actually got to the emails, you're already hour 2, 3 hours in. You haven't done anything. And I think the percentage was like really low, like how much work you're actually doing at the workplace. And I think that's always funny to me. It's like, man, but if you're working for yourself, I can guarantee you're going to make as much money as you possibly can. You're going to be sourcing harder, shipping faster, doing everything you can, because that money is going straight to you or your business, your family, compared to milking it at the 9 to 5 and chilling. But like I said, some people like that. I can't bash you for liking that. If you want to do the full-time route, you can do that. Back to the retirement talk. It's kind of sad too. I know there was a guy that he worked at USPS, and man, they go through so many rude customers, and I remember this one guy. He was like, "Yeah, I'm almost there. I got 2-3 years to retirement, 2 years, and just waiting, and you're, clocking in and out." And I was like, man, but can you hold off for that long? Is it worth it? Can you? And yeah, of course, the benefits down the road, yeah. But oh, it's so rough to get that last 2 years in. The sad part, there was another guy. I didn't know him. I just know from another postman that I was talking to. Older guy, put in I don't know how many years USPS. Looking forward to the retirement day. He'd always tell the young guys, I got 30 days, almost out, finally retired. Sad part is 3 months later, he passed. And that's like, oh man, see, I already got like goosebumps just kind of talking about it, because I'm like, man, it just putting so many years of work, and you're looking forward to the day that you get the freedom and you pass away. Oh man, it is, and it happens. I mean, we've seen it in different situations. Let me go back up to the chat, some of the comments. My wife was iffy about doing this eBay side hustle, but now she's all on board. During the pandemic was the best time to go sourcing. Hawaii Rams fan, nice. It's very important to have that partnership, that relationship, and something that you and your wife also can build upon and agree on. And me and Hustlebee talked about this too recently. Just like, like me and my wife, how different our relationship would be if my wife worked full time or I worked full time, and we would see each other a lot less. And I enjoy the communication and the time. Like for me to source and list and do things at home, I have way more time at home and to be with her and see her, compared to being out there when I worked, putting in so many hours, the 8 to 5 or whatever, and work Saturdays sometimes too. And the communication it's just different, totally different. Let me go back up, especially on overtime. I'll talk about B. Let me see. My first tick, my coworkers told me poop at work. You can't put your life on hold. Just live once you retire. Live every day now. RNJ Funky Finds. Good seeing you guys. Let me go back up. Let me see. I loved when everyone was working from home, no traffic. I also liked when people worked in general, though. Stores, there's no lines at Ross, no lines at Burlington. Right now, that STEMI money is going a long way because these lines are still pretty long. I'm like, what's going on here? Let me see. Awesome show. Glenn and B. Gotta go returns. Enjoy the freedom. Never look back. Nate, appreciate that. I worked at TD Ameritrade corporate. Dude crapped out on his desk. Man, SA, wild. Quintana, let me see you and inspire me to go back into resell. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. It's awesome. Get down and sit with you, Glenn, in person. Same thing. RJ Funky Finds. Good to meet you guys. Talking with you guys. Hope you enjoyed your trip. Let me see. Do you have a set amount or limit on how much profit an item has to bring? Not necessarily. I know we've talked about different things that's going to bring you 100% ROI. Some things bring you 40%, 50% ROI. I think it just depends on where you got it from, where you sourced it from. What are you looking to do? I know even a lot of the bulk items that I got, it's like, I know for sure I can do 100% ROI. And you kind of focus on that and see. And also maybe there's some lower end items. We've talked about this in our program for Level Up. It's like it gets to a point too where like, maybe this wasn't the best buy. And it has been sitting here for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. How long do you want to get rid of or hold on to things? And if some things aren't moving, is it better for you to get that money back, reinvest in something else and move on? Or are you going to wait for it to see if it goes up in price? That's why I like the videos. I haven't done one in a while, but seeing different shoes from Ross 1 year later, did they actually go up or not? And kind of weigh that option. Is it worth holding on to something for that long? Did the price, is it actually even worth it? Some things are worth selling right when you get it and taking that profit. So I would say it varies per item. I think there's some items you can take 40%, 50% ROI on. I think it's smart looking at competition, looking at how much you paid, looking on what kind of capital you have. If you have crazy capital, that's not even going to matter. You can wait and you can make more money out of it because you're not strapped on cash. So a lot of factors. Let me see. Did you go to that seller's ball? Says Jeff. No. When is the next out hustle? Good question. We've had that question a lot. Me and B are still talking about it. The thing is, we don't have anything planned right now. Also because stores are really dry. I think that if stores were hitting, like of course previous out hustles, and really just going through different stores and multiple outlets, what's out there, I think we'll be back out there. But for right now, we know it's a little rough. Not necessarily a waste of trip, but it's kind of like, I want to see it when we get some new inventory. Nike Outlet, they're getting some new stuff. So could happen. Did you guys figure out on Florida's top #1 for sure? Most states fully opened up. Florida, that was because of a football game, but that was one of them on here. New flooded finds vid soon. From Jeff, I think I could definitely do that and definitely add that in there. I have another idea that I want to do for some videos. It's going to take me a long time to edit and figure out the footage on it, so I'll work on that. Teal Air Max Plus TN Flood. How have you seen how much they're going for now? I have not. Intramorph. Let me see which ones you're talking about. Let me see. Air Max Plus. Oh yeah, this one, this green one. We did cover this one on one of the videos. Wild prices. Unless you meant that this is the green gradient, But the teal, more Hustler Hacks color, that one didn't sell well, and it's still not selling well. But this green one, yeah, big money. University and Hyper Royal one's price will probably stay at this price, question mark. Hit size 11 and 6Y for both sneakers. I think Christmas time they'll go up. For right now, there's still more Hyper Royals that are coming out. I think that will slightly affect the price. They might go down a little bit. Not too much, but they might dip a little bit. You're probably going to wait 6 months for it to climb up, more and more for Christmas time. But it looks like they're kind of set there for a bit. Same thing with mochas. Like, I don't see them going over 500 anytime soon. They've been at that like 450, 475, 480 range since they came out. They came out super strong. Like, man, where is this gonna go? I think they're kind of steady there. Is Jake happy that the Jordan 1 mid and low resale prices are dead now? That's a good question. And check out the Jake interview. I still need to listen to it, actually, from Nacho Average Finds. Hold until Christmas then. Hit 11, 6Y, Hyper, and UNC Shadows. There we go. What do you think about the mids that are hitting foot sites now? I think certain mids might catch some money. A lot of the mids, they're just kind of sitting at the retail price because a lot of stores are getting them. So you really have to see how many are out there and what the market looks like. A lot of Hyper Royals coming out. University Blue Hyper Royal is going to take a while to go up. Will go up a lot early next year. So I agree. Q-Kicks late this year. We talked about Christmas time. We're still 6 months out. Early next year. Like we said, too, more Hyper Royals are definitely coming out. I listed some mids, and people messaged me asking why I was selling mids. Vintage profit. I still think you should do a day in a life or kind of video where you break down when/how you plan sourcing days, listing, etc. Intramorph. I do like that idea. I've been open to that idea to a certain point. The only reason why is just because competition-wise, I guess who I talk to, what times I go to stores, what my route looks like. There was a seller that did a video on his route and got toasted from there on out because day and time and everything of the route was out there in the open. So everyone's like, well, I know exactly when he goes. I'm just going to cut him off every time. And, that guy was kind of like screwed for like sourcing for a bit because they just let everything out there. And I was like, well, that's definitely not something I want to do as far as that part of day-to-day. But Jeff Soupies, what's up? Not really a sneaker question, but who you got in the NBA Finals? We're going with Nets and Nets for sure. I think Nets are going to win, by the way. I don't think it matters who they go against in the West, but I'm going with Nets. I was going to say, I don't think Phoenix, Denver. I don't know. That's a good question, but I'm just going with Brooklyn. All right. I don't think it'd be that detailed, more like organized. Okay. Like that Intramorph. Let's see. Switch up your sourcing habits. Other resellers do take note. Vintage profit for sure. Jazz, SA. Yeah, could be Jazz. I could see that. Some secrets need to be kept. Can't give up all the game. I agree. Tips on selling on OfferUp. If I get any messages, just time wasters, no shows, crazy low balls. Every time I message someone on OfferUp, I usually end up buying. Yeah, OfferUp is a weird thing. Like, I've even gotten some stuff to where I was like, man, this is a great deal. I even buy it, and then like there's no response. Like I just get refunded. What's going on here? And yeah, it's, of course, you get the people like, text me instead, and scammers and stuff. It is a weird platform. What's good, Randy? Resellers buy there. Exactly. Resell freak. Even on Mercari too. I mean, there's some good some good deals too. You can definitely get some things to resell. All right, we're done. We went over an hour. I didn't even know we were going to go that long, but we had a lot of talk about with eBay, and then we went off on random stuff, but I like that. And we'll see what we can do next Monday or Monday videos, and bring the bee in also for Wednesday. And then, of course, Friday video too. Get some sourcing and some new stuff done, and other types of videos. So, all right, we will see you guys on Wednesday's live show like we normally do. See what's out there at the stores, sneaker and new releases, all that, and the news. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Go out and